Yes, people, what's going on? We're back. Back with man like Josh. What's happening, Josh? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. It's countdown to the end of the season. I don't know, probably for you, you might be wanting the season done and dusted. For me, it's nerve-wracking times in a position that we haven't been in for ages. So
Mhm.
every game's important. Every game's massive, and
Yeah.
this one especially. I feel like this one's a big one this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, my whole 27 years of being alive, I've never seen Aston Villa being ahead of Chelsea at this point. At this point in the table, man. So you lot are flying right now. You know what I'm saying? I like your manager. You know, I like your players. Big up Emery as well because we're from the same area. He's from Newham. That's where I'm from as well. So
Yeah.
big him up, man. Big him up. But yeah, listen, people. First of all, obviously, smash up the likes as always. Make sure that you're subscribing to Josh, a view from the stands. Always putting out some good content on there. And yeah, like I said, I met Joshua Never a Foul actually. And yeah, I definitely respect his opinion, man. He knows his stuff, and especially when he's speaking about Villa as well. It's interesting to see his takes on stuff. And obviously, I don't watch Aston Villa every week, but I try to watch you, man, as much as I can.
Mm.
But yeah, how you feeling about your club at the minute, Josh? First of all, man, how you feeling about this season? Did you expect this at the start of the season, considering that you guys made Europe as well?
I think if you go back to a lot of people's predictions before the season started, I think Villa were probably in people's top 6, 7.
Mm,
There'd have been a few people who would have maybe had us dropping off a little bit lower. Um, but for me, when we came into the season, my sort of aim was to finish higher than what we did last year, which was
mm,
basically, can we improve on 7th? So I was ultimately thinking 5th or 6th would be lovely. What I didn't expect is Champions League drop off. Sorry, not the drop off, the Champions League push that we're on.
yeah.
Because when you look at the teams in the league constantly, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, your Man Cities, for me, they were always there. And it was always about you boys and Man United, always, which is what we're seeing with that. And of course, with Spurs' new manager. And obviously, we played you in the pre-season summer tour.
Yep.
And
You, didn't
and
we?
yeah, and you were quality, and you had a lot of, you had a lot of people missing, and I thought, bloody hell, what's Poch cooking here, with
So
this
did I,
side?
man. He hoodwinked us. He hoodwinked us,
It,
honestly.
it, it's crazy because I do remember that, and I thought, okay, Chelsea could be a side here. But what is clear is that we have, for me, one of the best managers in the league, um, because this manager is tactically sharper than most. I think that what people don't realise as well is how good his man management skills have been of certain players. And an Unai Emery side scores goals. I don't know if you noticed, but Unai Emery, his team, the way he gets the best out of attackers, even at Arsenal, it was
Mhm.
like Aubameyang and Lacazette's best season with
Yeah.
goals when he played. You go back to when he was at Villarreal and your Morenos and stuff like that, and look
Mm.
what he's done with Ollie Watkins and Bailey. So this guy, not
Oh,
only is he,
crazy.
for me, a master tactician, but he gets you on the front foot. He scores goals, and I trust this man as well to be able to go to certain stadiums and grounds and set up in a way that makes us hard to beat. So I
Mm.
just think that the people, it's taken people a while to realise again where Unai's at, and you've still got Arsenal fans who want to keep reminding me, but he bottles it in the league and he's a great cup manager. But I can't listen to Arsenal when we've done the double over them this season, and they're trying to tell me about my manager. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to tell me about my
Yeah.
manager when we've done a double over them this season.
Yeah.
So it's been an unbelievable season, and I want to be really clear of this. I don't think we're Newcastle either. I don't think we're a one-hit wonder. I think I
Mhm.
think I think there's still levels for us to go,
Mm.
and I genuinely believe in about 2-3 years' time we will be challenging for the top spot. I do believe
Really?
that with the project and keys that this manager's been given, and I think that's what people don't understand, Don, is that the Bayern Munich links were coming in, the Manchester United job. What people don't realise is that Don Unai has been given the keys to Villa. Everything is on his call. Everything his say. Everything is through him. And when a manager gets that sort of privilege and power, they rate it. They they
Mm.
they, they feel embraced by it. You go to Manchester United, it's not the same, is it?
Mm.
Chelsea as well, your club. Who's making the decisions? Who's making the calls? Who's involved? So.
Yeah,
season. I just
interesting times. Yeah, no, listen, interesting times, man. Listen, for me, I rate Unai Emery because when Graham Potter got sacked, that's a manager that I would have been happy to come into the club, man, because he knows exactly what he's doing, man. His time at Arsenal wasn't the best. You know, he could barely speak English at the time. It seemed like the players weren't really buying into what he was doing. He didn't really have a relationship with the fans. You know, it just wasn't working out for him. It doesn't mean that it was a bad manager. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I think, it was the wrong club for him at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of Arsenal fans resent him because of that period, you know, because obviously towards the end of his time, obviously Baku as well, what Chelsea did to him in Baku as well wasn't good for them. You know what I mean? But Emery, man, this is a good coach. And this is a guy that came in when Gerrard had you guys playing some horrible football. You know, you guys had a good team. I was looking at you guys thinking, yo, how the hell are Aston Villa right now at 18th, whatever it was, 17th, where Gerrard left you, you know? And now it's clear to see. And this is what I keep saying to rivals when they say Poch, you know, it's not just Poch, it's the players. And I keep agreeing. I say, listen, I know the players are not Chelsea level, but there's definitely a coach out there that can get more out of these guys. Yeah. And that's exactly what Emery did with your team. He was able to get more out of these guys. Ollie Watkins, like we're talking about in Europe right now, I'm seeing him next to Mbappe and these sort of guys. Ollie Watkins played for Aston Villa and he's up there in terms of the GNA. Do you know what I mean? So he's a good coach, man. He's definitely a good coach, and yeah, I think you guys are going to do well as long as you manage to keep him and obviously some of your key players that you've got as well in the future, you know.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely agree, and I think you know, any club that Emery goes into, he comes in with a philosophy and identity, and still you're probably scratching your head going, well, what is Poch's identity? What this pressing that isn't press, and this, you know, this developing young kids, but then you get, as you, I'm quite frankly, I follow him a lot. Is Carney Chukwuemeka stuck on that bench?
Yeah.
And I'm looking and go, well, he left us. You know, again, I
would have been playing for you guys. He would have been starting for you guys week in, week out. And I highly doubt he would have been getting this many injuries as well. I highly doubt it.
And so what about this master developer of young players who I'm just not seeing at Chelsea at the moment? I'm not seeing any young, you know, Marlo Gusto is probably the only one I'd probably look at and go, well, he's done well, but you know, where is this man?
Gallagher. It's only Gallagher. It's honestly only Gallagher that he's improved, man. If you look at the amount of players that have regressed under him, Badiashile last season was good. This season he looks like he's a mess. You know, you've got Enzo Fernandez. Last season was good. This season he's regressed. There's so many players I can pick out where I'm like, yo, these guys don't look good at the minute. And Cuckoo's come in, he doesn't look good because this manager don't know how to use him. You're talking about the young players. He brings all these young players, puts them on the bench every single week, Josh, and we don't see them play. He'd rather play Alfie Gilchrist at right back instead of playing an actual right back from the academy. You know, this is now the time like to bed in these guys, you know. So you're right, man. You're right when you say that this manager is just doing the complete opposite of what he was brought in for. And obviously now going into the game, you know, I actually watched a few of the highlights from when we played you guys at the Bridge because I was at the game. I remember that day. I was actually there. Sanchez pulled out some really good saves. Once again, you know, we conceded that goal from Ollie Watkins from a stupid bit of defending. Remember, Thiago Silva let the ball bounce, and then Levi Cole, I thought he had Watkins, but then when the ball came back to Watkins, I said, yeah, before it even went in, I said, go. Because the way that guy strikes the ball, he hits it clean. You know, he hits it clean. That's one thing about him. He can hit it clean. He does need a few chances, to be fair. Like, give Watkins 4 chances to score at least 2 goals, but he's going to score at least 2 of them if you give him 4. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the thing about him. So, you know, looking back at it, I know last time we came to the to Villa Park, Enzo Fernandez, world-class performance from him that day. You know, we were all over you. I really liked how we played that game because we had Gallagher and Palmer. They were pressing you from the front. We weren't letting you build up from the back. And every single time you would win the ball back, we were just retaining that, you know, we were winning it back really quickly. And Enzo, like I said, he dictated that game. Obviously, he's gone off for surgery now. He's no longer going to be available this season. But how are you looking at it from a Villa point of view? How are you feeling going into the game? And what do Villa need to do to actually beat Chelsea? Fragile Chelsea at the minute.
Well, this is the thing, right? So, again, looking at our fixture list and where we are in this running, everyone goes Chelsea, and people go, "Oh, Chelsea." You know, the conversation these days is, "Oh, Chelsea should do them." And I say, well, I don't necessarily see that as a straight 3 points for us. I don't. I think if we play our best game, we'll beat you. That's how it sounds silly, but I think that in as simple layman terms is if we perform to the levels that we have, we will. But the issue I've got is a couple of things really. I'm pretty sure that when you came to us in the FA Cup, you'd come off a really poor run as well, or just been hammered your last game. I don't know why, but it was a really weird one in the sense of we were coming against an out of form Chelsea who'd just been smashed up.
Yeah, we were playing badly to that point because we didn't even have. I think that's when Jackson was on. Jackson was with AFCON, and he just came back actually during that time, wasn't it? When he came back, because I remember that was when I watched the game when we played you initially in Manchester. First, remember that dead game at the Bridge, 0-0, right? That was when Broja was playing that game, I believe, and Jackson was in AFCON, so he came back and actually helped us play a little bit better. So you are right. The form wasn't great. Like we weren't playing.
You just looking at your games, you lost 4-1 to Liverpool at Anfield, and then you lost 4-2 at home against Wolves. So
exactly. It was a bad period, man. 8 goals conceded in the week.
Yeah, and then you came up against us, and you just showed up and beat us 3-1, rolled us. And that was the thing, though. I think the one thing I would say is Unai Emery. But a lot of Villa fans got a little bit upset about this, but Unai Emery prioritises the Premier League over the FA Cup. The way we saw he put out the mindset and also some of his team selections going into that, which annoyed a few Villa fans, and even the Conference League in the early stages, it was for him. It was top 4 was his goal. But you are right. You unsettled our rhythm completely at Villa Park with that pressing game, and teams do like to do that. However, I think we've evolved since then because any team now that comes to try and press us, we're just going over the top. We're just playing really direct into Watkins, Bailey, Moussa Diaby, who are absolutely then getting on the front foot. I think that's that evolution.
That's what scares me, man. That's what scares me because we have a lot of holes in our team, man. Poch doesn't like our players playing close to each other. Poch wants our team playing as if they hate each other. So what team's gonna turn up? Well, obviously, we haven't got Enzo Fernandez, like I said, for the rest of the season, which most likely means Gallagher's gonna be in that pivot, and most likely Carney playing in that 10. I reckon. That's if Madueke gets dropped. You know, there's a few options that can play in that 10. Either Cole Palmer can play in the 10 with Gallagher and Caicedo behind him, or Cole Palmer can go back to the right and obviously bring man like Carney back into that 10 as well. But I don't see him doing that because Carney didn't even come on last game against Arsenal when he was needed. The game before that, he didn't come on against Man City when he was needed. So it's just a mess right now, man. If you guys are playing over the top like that, I can see you lot getting some joy because our midfield is just all over the place. I'll be honest with you, it's all over the place, man.
And I think one key player that he goes under the radar because of, well, 2 players who didn't feature in the FA Cup against you was Konsa. So your boy Konsa didn't play in the FA Cup, which is key. And then the second one is sort of what I call like the unsung hero because everyone just sees him as being class. And even though he performs 8 out of 10s week in, week out, he doesn't get the applaud. Is Pau Torres. Pau Torres is the Tom Brady of our team, right?
Tom Brady, like that.
He decides when we go longer, and he decides when he's going to punch through the lines and invite the press.
Okay.
And I just look. We had Longley and Diego Carlos. Well, arguably that's our 3rd and 4th choice centre half that we had against you. And for me, their ball playing attributes are not at the level of Konsa and Pau Torres. So I think you'll see it is why. Again, there's been no coincidence ever since Powell's come back in the team because he missed January and start of February where we were on a wobble. He just comes in and he just solidified his football IQ and intelligence is different level. If he had another yard or 2 of pace, he'd be in these Saliba conversations that we hear about, and people saying who's the best center. It's just
I've never really rated him, to be honest with you. Like every time I'd watch him prior to obviously joining Villa, he would always have just a bozo moment in him, man. A mistake in him, like when I'd watch him for Sevilla, right? That he would play for, that he played for before under Emery. It was Sevilla, right? That he played for.
No, it was the Villarreal.
Villarreal, there we go.
Villarreal, yeah.
Villarreal, yeah. So Yeah, Pau Torres, I just said, I'm not sure about this guy. Every time I watch him, he looks a bit shaky at the back. But you are right when you say that, because I remember Longley, he was getting pressed and he was struggling, man. He was struggling to get out of that press. But who are you looking at then from a Chelsea point of view at the minute that can cause you lot a little bit of harm? I know who you're probably going to say, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll try not to state the obvious, but obviously,
yeah.
Cole Palmer. But I think, if I again, when watching you boys again the other night, it's hard. It's hard. If I was to say this, I don't think is Gusto available.
We don't know, man. We don't know.
So if I see him on the team sheet, I think, okay, decent fullback there. The other one for me that I probably is Jackson. It's the only other player I'd say that Jackson gives me a little bit of, unpredictable nature.
He did score against you lot last time, to be fair. It was a good header as well.
Yeah, he's got that unpredictable factor and nature about him, which makes me take note. And I'm like, okay, there's something there. So it is obvious. It is Cole Palmer connecting your lines, connecting your play. I think the easier question probably for me is, who do I see as your weaker links? I think your keeper's terrible. I think Petrovic is the errors this guy makes at the near post.
Yeah, that was shocking. I was at the Emirates, and listen, I was sitting in the Chelsea end, and I could literally see Declan Rice driving towards us, played it to Trossard, and it was clear to see Petrovic, right, from that angle. And honestly, he was stuck in the mud. And it's funny because my boy actually messaged me before the game, because he's an Arsenal season ticket holder, and he was like, listen, I'm watching Petrovic in the warm-up. He is looking shaky, bro. He's looking shaky. Do you know what I'm saying? And listen, he wasn't wrong about that, man. Petrovic, he's a squad, he's a backup keeper. He's not the main guy.
He's a number two. He's a number two.
Yeah,
he's a number two. Sure. And that for me sums it up straight away. When you look at that and you go, Emi Martinez, Colossus giant, someone who has an aura, a fear factor.
Yeah.
And then I look at your keeper and think, all right, I fancy that. I think you've got a serious problem at left back. I mean, Chilwell's washed. It breaks me to even think that. Do you know what the scary thing is? Players like Chilwell and Gallagher could feature in an England side, which would make me cry. Like that's again the short. It's terrible to even think that those guys could have a chance of being in some sort of right. But Chilwell and Cucurella for me against Leon Bailey is a massive mismatch. Like the form that Leon Bailey's on. You're telling me he's not going to fancy one-on-one duels against those guys? Come on.
You know what? One thing I'll say about Cucurella though, like, as much as he's got a little bit of a bozo moment in him and he lacks concentration at times, he does get stuck in. He's quite aggressive. And the thing is, the fact that he's quite aggressive doesn't help him at times, where if you've got a guy like a Leon Bailey, he will wait for you to get tight to him and just spin you. You know what I'm saying? He will spin you, or he'll pop it off to John McGinn, get in behind again. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? And one guy I'm looking at as well for you guys is Rodgers, man. I saw your game last week against who was it that you played that you beat?
Arsenal.
Yeah, no, not Arsenal. The game after that one.
Bournemouth. Wolves or Bournemouth.
He scored. I think he scored a good goal, man.
Bournemouth.
Yes. Rodgers. And even when we played Middlesbrough, if you remember when we beat them 6-0, 6-1 even, he came on and he was the one that scored that good goal, man. I was at the game as well that when we played them at the bridge there. So he's someone that I'm looking at. Are you playing him off the left at the minute?
Yeah, I love it. It's a really quality position that he's playing in. He's basically inverting inside into the pockets. So what we're doing is we're allowing Luca Dean to basically maraud down that left-hand side, because a great deep line crosser. That's what I love about Luca Dean. He's not someone who likes to get to the byline, ball at his feet, or whip an early ball in. And that. So Morgan's just coming in off an angle on Douglas Luiz or McGinn or Tillemans and being able to turn on the halfway line, which is the most dangerous position, really, when you receive. I know you were saying about Gallagher not being able to receive the ball on the back foot. I saw one of your tweets about that. You know, Rodgers is thump it in, get on the back foot, and drive. And it's, again, quite another thing where people disrespect
the championship.
They're like, championship, Morgan Rodgers, who's this brother? Like, you're making this Arsenal making him look good, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, actually, There's a reason why Unai Emery spent all of January. We showed interest in that guy from the start of January. We couldn't get
Yeah.
the deal done to like the last day.
He
So
was
there
your main
was a
target.
big,
Yeah, I remember. He was your main target. Yeah.
and I'm thinking, why is Unai really keen for this guy? Like he's
Mm,
adamant he wants him. My God,
mm,
mate! Like uh, it's the fact he's 19, but if you look at his stature and his frame, he's a
mhm.
strong runner and boy.
He looks like a man. He's got the body of a man. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So I think I love watching him play again. So yeah,
Hold on a
he's a great
second.
one to pick up.
Josh. Yeah. Look, what's going on here? So people are telling me Carney and Sterling are injured. So they're injured again. Oh my gosh.
No,
Look. Just as we're live, the injury update has come up, Josh. Let me tell you who's been added to this never-ending list. Yeah. So right now you've got Levi Colwell in partial team training, Reece James in partial team training, Nkuku in partial team training, Sanchez in partial team training, Leslie Ogochukwu in partial team training, Enzo Fernandez obviously out, Carney undergoing medical assessment, Raheem Sterling undergoing medical assessment, Ben Chilwell undergoing rehabilitation program, Malo Gusto undergoing rehabilitation program, and it's the same thing for Fofana and Lavia, right? So it's looking like Carney might not even be available. It's looking like Sterling might not even be available for this game. You know, for me, Sterling shouldn't be starting, but at least he's an option off the bench. You know, I expect him to still be able to do something off the bench. But again, this goes back to the problems that Chelsea are facing at the minute. Injury after injury. And remember I said to you before this even came out, Carney, I don't know what's going on over there. Carney hasn't played. Yeah, Carney's been training. Carney's been training and he's getting injured in training. No one can tell me it's just a medical team that Chelsea have hired, yeah, for these problems. It has to be Pochettino and his training methods. It has to be. It has to be, right? It has to be. There's no way. I don't understand what's going on here. Do you know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm here. There's a few rumors I'm hearing that apparently Carney and Sterling had a little bit of a bust up in training. I don't know how true this is, to be honest with you, because what I heard, you know, the audio that I heard, I highly doubt a player would come out and say that. But if it's true, then maybe that's what this is. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what this is, isn't it? But I have to be skeptical because we've had injuries all season. All season, I haven't seen the lineup that I'm putting out. You know, I'm yet to see the strongest Chelsea lineup at the minute. Do you know what I'm saying? So from a Chelsea point of view, you know, in order to beat you guys, listen, we just need to make sure that we're taking our chances. It's as simple as that. Because with how you guys play, we like playing teams like you guys. We don't like facing low blocks, right? Because when we face low blocks, we're basically Cole Palmer FC, where we expect him to be creating everything for us, right? There's a 4.5 minute video of Cole Palmer creating chance after chance after chance after chance. All our creativity basically comes from him and Gusto as well. That's our right-hand side, right? So listen, you guys like to come out and play, which means that there's going to be spaces for guys like Mudryk to run into, spaces for guys like Madueke to run into. Remember, Madueke had a very good game against you guys last time we played as well. He was very good. But off the ball, him and Mudryk, they're really annoying me, man. Like they're so lazy. They don't make the moves, the movement that you expect your wingers to be making. Whether that's coaching, whether that's just not having the IQ, we don't know, because right now everything's a mess. Do you know what I'm saying? But we can definitely have joy in behind, because like I said, when we played you lot at the Bridge, we were creating a lot of chances, man. We missed a lot of chances that game as well. So that's what's going to do it this game. I think, you know, the fact that Enzo's missing, it will probably mean that Gallagher's out of that pivot. There's literally no one else that can play in that pivot. So hopefully that should mean that the attack is a lot more fluid. But I'm not confident at all, man. I'm not confident. You guys right now are playing much better than us. You're the better team in terms of working as a unit. You've got a better coach and you're playing at home. Do you know what I mean? And you've obviously got something to play for in terms of actually staying in the top four. So I'm not confident going into this game. But then again, Chelsea unpredictable, man. This is the problem, Josh. We can just turn up and literally look like prime Barcelona. And then you're going to have people saying, oh, where's this Chelsea been? Where's that? But it's too late, bro. We're in April. It's way too late for anything to happen. Do you know what I mean? But that's how I kind of look at the game, man. That's how I kind of look at it. It's very unpredictable, man. But I'm not confident at all. We just need to make sure we take our chances, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I definitely still respect you as an opposition. There's no doubt about that. I think that's something that Unai always delivers, is that we have to respect the opponents we play in. But you just think, I know it sounds really stupid, but I think we've got more characters in our team at the moment who are willing to run that extra yard, who are willing to do that extra bit of detail to make sure we get over the line. And I think that's what we've built, and that's why, again, when I sort of look at us versus Spurs in this battle for top four, I think we literally have the characteristics. And the big thing for me is, if we win against you, we go 9 points clear of Spurs. Yes, they've got 3 games in hand, but it's just the way the fixtures have fallen.
They've got to play us as well at the bridge.
Yeah, and that's the thing. As I've been saying to Deji, it's all well and good going, oh, games in hand, but you're never guaranteed to win your games in hand. How often do you see teams actually clean up their games in hand? So the psychological factor for me is go 9 points clear. That's my message. That is my message as a manager. Win today. We go 9 points clear. That was a double over Arsenal. It's a double over Chelsea.
Yeah.
This is the levels we should be competing at. So, and the way you've just told me about those injuries and how you're going to have to rotate, just don't think Poch is going to have a plan for it. I don't think Poch knows how to get a side out that's going to,
He's not,
like you almost say, be strangers. They're going to be strangers in those positions. There's going to be people not knowing how to connect. And I think that we exploit that. I think for me, Don, if we score in the first 10, 15 minutes, I think game's done. I think the game's done.
These guys' heads will drop, man. These guys' heads will drop. And listen, this manager just scares me, bro. Honestly, because the other day I did not expect him to make that many changes for the Arsenal game. Me and Potts did a stream beforehand, and I said, listen, obviously, like Palmer, I can see him playing because if he's ill, maybe he'll just play through illness. Gusto, I don't think he'll play because he's been injured the past few games. And when you watch him, you can clearly see he's been playing with an injury, right? But I said, you know what? At least Cole Palmer will be in there. I expect him to keep the same defense because we've been at least a little bit stable with Disasi and with Thiago Silva and Chalobah, because again, chemistry, they know each other, right? But then you decide to change it. So what's he going to do at the weekend now? Is he going to keep Badiashile and Disasi, or is he going to go back to Thiago Silva and Chalobah? That's one thing I can never predict what this manager is going to do. You know, he will see something that works and then he'll go away from it. And that's been the theme of the whole season, you know? So we need some defensive stability again, man, because Ollie Watkins, he loves playing against us, man. Like, again, this year he scored against us at the Bridge. That was his first goal of the season, actually. Last season, I remember. Last season, I was at the Bridge again when Graham Potter got sacked. We played you guys. You scored that game. Ollie Watkins, he lobbed Kepa. I remember that game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, we need to make sure that we have a good defense because this guy's probably going to play Disasi at right back, or maybe he'll play Gilchrist at right back, which is going to be a headache. And Rodgers is going to have fun on that side, you know, because Gilchrist, I just look at him and he's just, I respect him because he's come through the academy, but I just look at him and I don't see anything special from him. Do you know what I mean? I don't see anything where I'm like, wow. When I saw Reece James, I'm like, wow. When I saw Mason when he first came through, I'm like, wow. These guys, I'm thinking I can see something in there. But with him, you know, maybe he's playing out of position at the minute, but it's very Pochettino-like. He's very Pochettino-like player. Do you know what I mean? That's what I kind of look at when I see him. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. Right now, I don't know what we're gonna do, to be honest with you, Josh. I'm just hoping for the season to finish. Week in, week out, I'm still looking at it, going by game, which is crazy to be saying that in April. But what are you saying for predictions, bro? How do you reckon the game's gonna go? And you know, in terms of the predictions, bro, we can wrap up.
I have to back us. I have to back us at home. We've got a lot to play for. Your team depleted, a bit of a mess. Can't see anything but a win. Will we keep a clean sheet is what I'm trying to think. I don't think we will. I think you'll score. I'm going to give you I think this is going to be a... Actually, I think this could be a 3 or 4-1, Dom. I'll go 3-1. I think it really could be floodgates. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1 Villa. Fairs. Boy, I have to agree, man. I'm going to say the same. I'm going to say 3-1 Villa. And it's mad for me to be saying that, but how can I have any confidence in these guys? Like, I can't have any confidence in Jackson scoring. I can't have any confidence in Poch making right decisions at the back. And even if he does put out a good lineup, I can't have confidence that he will have some good in-game management. The only person I can have confidence in is Cole Palmer. And he's been ill. So what Cole Palmer's going to come back? Is he going to start vomiting on the pitch? Because nothing surprises me with his club anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of look at him. And I think Villa are going to beat us 3-1, I would say 3-1.
Mm.
But before we wrap up, bro, let's go through some of these comments, man. See what people are saying. Big up CFC Reaper. He says big up Josh.
Yeah,
come on, man. Chelsea boy 1-2-3-4. This is Poch, and the same thing happened when he was at Southampton and Spurs. It's true. Same sort of things were happening, man, with the injuries, you know. And he comes out in the press conferences and says, "Oh, we're gonna do a big report." And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, bro, you're adding to this. Do you know what I'm saying? You're adding to this as well. Chelsea boy again says, "I'll put Chalobah right back." So would I, bro. But listen, Disasi's been stinking out the place, so I'd rather not. I'd rather play a right back from the academy. Achimpong is a good option there. He's tall. Poch loves height. But again, he keeps putting him on the bench and doesn't want to trust him to play. So that's the problem that we've got. CFC, big up, man. Big up, my bro. And then just to finish off, you've got Zach saying Villa 3, Chelsea 1, Poch out. And see, look, these are Chelsea fans predicting this, man. Chelsea boy again, I'd say 1-1. But yeah, this is the thing, Josh. Look, if we win or we draw, no, actually, I don't even want to take a draw at the minute because, listen, I've got money on us finishing above United, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And listen, as bad as we are, I'm sorry, I look at United, yeah. Go look at the underlying metrics and that as well. They are shocking. They shouldn't be where they are right now. They're sixth. And I want to make sure we finish above them. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of look at it, man. But I've just got no hope. But if we beat you guys, I'll take it, as always. I'll take it. But I'm hoping it'll be a good performance. But Josh, listen, love for coming on, bro. I know you've got some things planned this afternoon, but let them know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, my channel's called A View from the Stands. So I predominantly do watch-alongs on that, but obviously coming into the summer, there'll be a lot of Villa transfer talk and what we're cooking for hopefully Champions League football. And obviously, you can see me on Never a Foul as well over there. So yeah, no, appreciate you having me on. Really enjoyed this chat. It's been a good one.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed it as well. We'll definitely get you back on, Josh, at some point. Cook something up, man. But listen, big up people. Still got 16 people in the chat. Love, obviously, like I said, subscribers always. Make sure that you smash the likes. Up the Chels. Pray for the Chels, man. Do you know what I'm saying? In a bit, people. Love.